What it do, boo boo? It's your girl Keisha, and I am back with more on my Diddy trial exposed video series. Let's get caught up on everything that has been going on in this crazy trial. So according to the Shade Room, a former Intercontinental Hotel security guard testified that Diddy in fact paid him $100,000 in exchange for the video footage of him assaulting Cassie in 2016. Wow. So Garcia testified Diddy paid him $100,000 in exchange for the video. He said Diddy handed him the money in a brown paper bag at the time of the handoff. After giving Garcia the money, Diddy offered to walk him downstairs. Garcia said Diddy asked how he planned to spend the money and advised him against making any large purchases. So you bribing folks, they gonna get your ass on bribery. Wow. Eddie Garcia took the stand to testify about the 2016 incident at the Intercontinental Hotel. He told prosecutors he didn't initially recognize Diddy or Cassie when watching the video of the assault. He said law enforcement was not called after the incident because Cassie did not request it. Following the incident, Eddie Garcia received multiple calls from Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Coram. He testified. He told prosecutors that Coram was asking for the video, claiming Diddy was intoxicated during the assault. Wow. Yeah, she need to get locked up too. Garcia testified that he told Coram he would not give her the video and she had to talk to management or file a subpoena in order to obtain it. After multiple failed attempts to get the video from Garcia, Coram called Garcia once again. This time, Diddy was on the phone as well. Garcia said Diddy sounded nervous during the phone call and was talking fast and stuttering. Garcia testified Diddy asked him for the video and acknowledged that the video could ruin his career if it ever got out. So this is the conversation that he had with the AUSA. Garcia says Miss Coram passed the phone to Mr. Combs. What did he say? That I sounded like a good guy, that he could help, that something like this could ruin him. He wanted the video. He said if it got out, it would ruin his career. Garcia told Diddy he did not have access to the server room where the original video was saved and subsequently could not help him. Garcia testified Diddy promised to take care of him if he could gain access to the video. Garcia told prosecutors he believed this meant Diddy would be willing to pay him for the video. Following his conversation with Diddy, Garcia reached out to his supervisor, Bill Madrano, in an attempt to get the video. Garcia testified Madrano said he would do it for $50, which he believed meant Madrano was agreeing to give Diddy the video in exchange for $50K. Garcia said he called Christina Coram, who put him in contact with Diddy and Cassie. Garcia testified Diddy instructed Cassie to say that she also wanted the video to go away because it would be bad publicity amid the release of a movie she was starring in. Garcia testified Diddy requested copies of identification for Garcia, his supervisor, and the responding security guard, Israel Flores. Garcia said he texted pictures of the IDs to Diddy. So I guess he wanted to have photo evidence of them in case he ever had to circle back and do something to them. Like he wanted to have their name and, their pictures or whatever. Garcia testified he met with Diddy at a high-rise hotel building to hand off the video on a USB drive. He said he was very nervous during the meeting and Diddy offered him tea to help the cracking in his voice. After handing off the USB, Diddy asked Garcia if that was the only copy of the video. Garcia said he believed it was. Garcia testified Diddy had him sign an NDA declaring that it was the only existing copy of the video. A copy of the NDA was shown to the jury. Wow. So they got his ass on bribery. Wow. Garcia testified he signed the NDA without reading it. Part of the agreement was read out loud in court. Accordingly, without limitation of companies and or Combs' right as they relate to injunctive relief detailed above, recipient agrees to pay company the sum of $1 million as liquidated damages in the event of a breach of this agreement. Wow. He know damn well that man wouldn't have had no $1 million to pay him. He is such a narc. Ugh. Garcia testified Diddy paid him $100,000 in exchange for the video. He said Diddy handed him the money in a brown paper bag at the time of the handoff. After giving Garcia the money, Diddy offered to walk him downstairs. Garcia said Diddy asked how he planned to spend the money and advised him against making any large purchases. Garcia testified he split the money with his supervisor, Bill Madrano, and Henry Elias, the officer on duty at the time of the incident. Garcia said he gave $50,000 to Madrano and $20,000 to Elias. He said he bought a used car in cash with his share of the money. He testified he did not deposit any of the money into a bank account or report it on his taxes. First of all, y'all stupid as fuck. Y'all stupid. $100,000 and broke it down between three people. You're an idiot, bro. Y'all should have been asking for $300,000, $100,000 a piece at least. Like, y'all stupid. You got a used car. Oh my God. Then it says before Mia's cross continued, Eddie Garcia briefly took the stand to invoke his Fifth Amendment rights. Garcia also confirmed he was giving a proposed immunity order. He left the stand but is expected to return later today. Wow. Please lock this nigga up. Please lock him up. Throw away the damn key. Wow. So one of the former escorts shared an emotional message to Cassie. So People magazine reported this, that Shawn Daring was one of more than 10 men that Combs, who is 55, allegedly forced his ex-girlfriend to have schmex with during their nearly 11-year relationship, according to prosecutors. The escorts' identities were revealed in court testimony and evidence submitted by the government. I also showed you all of the men's photographs as well. She was so uplifting, the kindest and most respectful person, Daring, who is 37, says of Cassie Ventura, who is 38. She was genuine throughout the whole experience. This is the guy right here. Daring tells People that he is only speaking out now to give some credence to Ventura's story and because his photo and alias were already made public during Combs' trial. I never wanted to open my mouth, he said. I don't seek attention. I don't want to go out there and make it seem like I'm trying to get my name known off of this experience. When discussing Ventura, he says, you got me tearing up. I want what's best for her, honestly, because she's a badass lady, man. She's awesome. So I want her respect first and foremost. Ventura testified on Wednesday, May 14th, that she knew Daring as Skylar and met him through the website Cowboys for Angels. She said he was one of many escorts Combs hired via the site for his freak-offs, what federal prosecutors have called elaborate and produced schmex performances that the Bad Boy Records founder allegedly orchestrated and coerced Ventura and others into joining. Daring tells People that the identities of Ventura and Combs were not revealed to him before he met them for the first time around late 2014 or early 2015. He claims Cowboy for Angels founder Garen James told him only that the clients were A-list. Daring says he was hired for more than a dozen sessions, which typically took place at either a bungalow at the Beverly Hills Hotel, which we talked about in my previous video, or a condo off Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, which he believes belonged to Ventura. It was only me, him, and her, Daring says, referring to himself, Combs, and Ventura. He never touched me. We did everything under his direction. While Daring says he did not witness Combs physically schmooze Ventura, the model, tells people that he did notice forms of what he believed was psychological abuse. Ventura's kindness was being abused in an improper manner, Daring claims. She was there under his control, and there was that knowing and understanding that if she didn't do what he said, I don't know what the consequences could have been, but I could tell there was that constant energy of knowing that we must perform for him or else, he felt. Ventura broke down in tears when asked about the freak-offs during the fifth day of testimony on Friday, May 16th, claiming that Combs pressured her to participate in his schmex parties with physical violence and threats of blackmail. I had to do freak-offs, she said during redirect after giving testimony on Wednesday, May 14th. Then she did not want to do freak offs. Daring claims there were times where she wouldn't speak if he wasn't in the room because she knew she couldn't, he adds. It was a power complex thing with him. Wow. He remembers one freak off when he says Ventura allegedly became like a drone after Combs left the room for a moment. She just sits there staring at the ground, and I ask her a question. She's like, no, not until he gets back. So it's like, oh, okay, Daring claims. This is sad. When the freak-offs would turn dark, Ventura's demeanor would change, Daring says. You could see that it was kind of like the spirit leaving the body, he adds. A self-described man of faith, Daring is no longer an escort and is on a different path these days. After some soul searching, he left LA in 2017 and returned to Hawaii, where he was born and raised. The move was more of a back to my roots situation rather than getting out of LA type of deal, he explains. Wow, this is horrendous. This is really so dark, y'all. This is just terrible. Terrible. Oh my God. The Shade Room reported that a witness that is going by Jane took the stand, and she detailed her relationship and the first time he arranged for her to have intercourse with another man. Now, it is heavily assumed that this is Daphne Joy 50 Cent's baby mama to his son Sire, who is the Jane Doe. So the Jane takes the stand. Prosecutors asked Jane who she was in a relationship with between 2021 and 2024. She responded, Sean Combs. She says the two met while she was on a 2020 girls trip in Miami, and Diddy was dating her friend at the time. Jane said the two often referred to each other as Sesame Street characters. She was Bert and Diddy was Ernie. Wow, isn't that charming? Oh, she says he was really charming, really nice, and I was already drawn to him pretty instantly, Jane said. She mentions that at one point her friend became upset because she thought Jane was trying to get at Diddy. She insists that Diddy is the one who pursued her. So, girl, you already ain't shit because you messing around with one of your homegirls' pieces, and now look at what you got. Look at what you got, child. Everything that glitters is not gold. Jane says she ultimately decided to give the relationship with Diddy a shot when the friend who was dating got engaged to another man and moved overseas. Jane says her first date with Diddy happened in Miami, January 2021. He got her a hotel and the date lasted 5 days long. She explains that the two spoke about her past and says the father of her child was not fond of Diddy. This was like a dead giveaway that it's Daphne. The two went on another trip the next month to Turks and Caicos. Jane said Diddy's assistant KK, that's the quorum girl, came along for the trip. She said they also had a personal chef, photographer, butler, and barber on the 15-day trip. Jane said the first time Diddy gave her ecstasy, they were at the pool. She says Diddy claimed it'll be more fun if she took the schmug. After, as the two were walking down the beach, Jane said she fell down. Now remember, that's how he got Cassie to doing schmugs, by introducing her to ecstasy. She said she was helped by KK and the butler. She claims that at one point KK put her in the shower. At the end of the trip, she says Diddy offered her $10K because she had been away from her work as an influencer for a while. Jane said the two kept their relationship pretty private and that she only recalls only posting about him on social media once. Originally living on the East Coast, Jane moved to California in June 2021. She says Diddy gave her $6,000 for a moving truck. She said he also sent her money casually throughout their time together. Between February and May 2021, Jane said Combs would fly her to Miami every other week to see him. Jane explains that the first time Diddy set up for her to have schmecks with another man while he watched, she said they would sometimes watch pornography and it would lead into conversations about fantasy. She said she saw one of his assistants setting up the room for them and then seeing what she called the fantasy guy. She identifies the other man as Don. She said as they were in the suite, Diddy directed her to stand up and then she started to dance. She says Don was there in his underwear and Diddy was jacking off. Jane said Diddy was being encouraging and sweet. I was ready to speed things up a bit. She said she asked Diddy for a condom, but he insisted the guy was tested. Wow. Jane says after her schmexual encounter with Don, he left and she then had schmecks with Diddy. She said the two were happy at the end of it and even went on a yacht the next day. Jane said, I felt excited. I was happy. It was taboo. It was fun. I had a good time with my partner. She thought it was just a one-time thing, not knowing it would open Pandora's box in the relationship. Jane said for the remainder of our relationship, that open door was unable to be shut. There was so much of it after, and it was too much of it, Jane said. Jane said when she attempted to tell Diddy that she didn't want to have schmecks with other men anymore, he said, if you want to break up, that's fine. He threatened to stop paying her rent since he wouldn't be dating her anymore. She says the conversation was never about breaking up, but about the schmexual encounters with other men. Jane says she always kept herself prepared with her hair and nails done because Diddy would give her short notice before these encounters. She always made sure proper child care was set up for her child. Now, if 50 Cent don't use this to get that damn son away from her, cause like what? And you want to talk about your other baby mama, what's her name? Shakana or whatever that chick name is, Shakoya. You want to talk about her being a bad mom, but your second baby mama was out here giving up the cootie cat for her rent, was being smutted out and leaving your son with babysitters while she over here getting her back blown out by Diddy and random men. Like, you can't never say nothing about your first baby mama now. Like nothing, sir. While you done dogged her for years, you better give Daphne ass the same damn energy, okay? Same energy. This is crazy. Jane says her relationship with Diddy consumed her. She said it also got in the way of her income. She made money via social media, but that declined because she prioritized the relationship. She said the most Diddy ever gave her was $20,000 after she told him she needed furniture. So you doing all this and you ain't even getting no money out of it. So how was you even still living if he was taking up so much of your time, ma'am? What? Girl. She said Diddy once asked her how much she wanted for allowance. She said she asked for $15,000, but Diddy gave her $10,000 instead. This was how much she paid in rent for her place. So he was only giving you enough to pay for your rent. You ain't even had no spare money. How was you paying for your utilities and food and all of those things? Girl. Jane testified that Diddy referred to the nights of schmecks with Diddy and other men as hotel nights or debauchery. Jane said these hotel nights took place in Los Angeles, New York, Miami, and Turks and Caicos. Now, this is where the schmecks trafficking comes in, because he was having these schmecks workers cross state and country lines to do these schmexual acts, which is illegal. She says she discussed travel arrangement with Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff, his travel agent, or one of his assistants. Wow. She testified that some hotel nights could last more than 24 hours. That is disgusting. She said they would go through more than 24 bottles of baby oil in a given night. This man really is obsessed with baby oil. Wow. Then court came to close that day, and her testimony would continue the following day. This Christina Coram woman needs to be locked up as well, because she was a willing participant and knowing what this man was out here doing to these women and stood by and helped. So now it says, after break, Jane testified Diddy is currently paying her rent. What? So he must have not known she was coming into court to testify. I bet you he ain't paying no rent no more. Jane says she and Diddy signed a love contract in 2023 in which they agreed he'd give her $10,000 monthly allowance for 2 years. She said they agreed on a 2-year contract to match the amount of time they had already spent in a relationship. Jane testified she didn't have enough money to furnish her new home, so she opened 3 credit cards and went into debt to buy furniture. Girl, you got to be kidding me. This girl, goodbye. Jane testified Diddy threatened to stop supporting her financially days after the All-Star Hotel night cancellation. She said he tested her and told her to move on, and she expressed frustrations with how he treated her when she had to cancel their plans. Jane testified he told her she had a rude awakening coming if she didn't stop fighting with him. She said she understood a rude awakening to me and cutting her off financially. In text messages, he told her, "You better get on your job. That's all it is." Jane says she understood her job was taken care of and making sure he was happy, which included schmexual encounters. Court is adjourned for the day, and Jane will continue testifying on Monday morning. Prosecutor Maureen Comey said the rest of her direct examination will take most of the day on Monday. Wow. And this was 5 days ago. Here are pictures of bruises on Brianna Bongolan, who was a fashion designer and friend of Cassie's. She testified that Diddy stormed into Cassie's apartment one night while she was out on the balcony, either smoking a blunt or about to. She says Diddy grabbed her and held her over the balcony. These are the bruises from this alleged altercation. This is crazy. This is insanity. These are bandages all over the lady's back. She has on a neck brace. Wow. So Jane, who we all believe is Daphne Joy, says that in 2023, Diddy reportedly took another woman to Turks and Caicos for her birthday while she had to sit back and watch from the gram. She claims it made her feel sad because she always wanted to go to Turks, but Diddy never took her. So when she saw the new couple on Instagram, she was livid. "It made me feel absolutely terrible," she said. "I just finished my birthday with him. It broke my heart because I just finished spending my birthday with all these guys having schmecks with me, and then he would leave and do such romantic gestures for someone else." When she confronted him about it, he reportedly downplayed the situation and told her they were business partners. He then told her to stop worrying about what he was doing with other women, and then seemingly broke up with her, asking her to just be friends. Girl, you can't make this mess up. So it's obvious to me that he was repeating the cycle that he had before, where Kim was the main chick. We all know that he was physically abusive towards her, but I don't think that he ever had her involved in freak-offs. And Cassie was the freak-off girlfriend. They were in public with each other, but he was obsessed with her, and he had her doing all of this horrendous schmexual acts or whatever. He revealed that side of himself to her, obviously. And when Kim passed away, died, was murdered, whatever you want to say, and Cassie left, he then repeated the cycle with Daphne Joy, and she became the new Cassie. And Carisha became the new Kim. That's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about all of this tea and the evidence that is being shown. I can't wait to read what you guys think about it all. I will be back next week with more Diddy trial updates. I love you guys. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. Bye guys.